Hello everyone, welcome back to another day of the challenge. So I'll quickly start with what I have to speak and let's begin with it. What if you could only eat foods that start with the first letter of your name? So my name is Dhiren Sharma. As it start with D, I can only eat food items which start with D. So let's think about it. Which are those items? First that I can quickly think about is a dragon fruit, which particularly I don't like to eat because I don't love its taste. So if only D has to be there, I can think of a sugary meal that is donut, but I would not be eating a donut because I don't want to eat sugar. Another thing is dough that is used as a base for pizza, but I can't eat dough simply because it would not be tasting very well as it will be bad for the health. Interesting point. What else can I think of that starts with a D? Decathlon. No, I. It would be weird if I've seen eating all those jackets and shoes of Decathlon. So it wouldn't make any sense, I guess. Dental thingy? No, don't. I can't eat teeth as well. Okay, let's end this one. I think it is all done now. Let's move on to the next phrase. What if you could read minds but couldn't turn it off? Yesterday there was a topic if I could read minds. So I mentioned it as a problem because there has to be something which stops you from reading mind of other people because there would be a lot of noise out there. So once you know how to control it, it would be a good thing. But if you couldn't turn it off and no matter what or whoever is in front of you, you can simply read their minds. When you read their minds, what happens is all their thoughts, all their overthinking will become your overthinking. You will start thinking on those topics as well. So you meet a lot of people throughout your day and it becomes your habit, or instinctively you simply start reading their mind because you simply can't turn it off even with a lot of experiences and whatever thing you do. Still, there is a chance you can stop it by just closing your eyes. Because I believe you have to look at a person if you want to read their mind. You can't do telepathy. So there is still some hope that you can close your eyes or move your eyes from their focus to any other thing, any object which doesn't have a mind. So yeah, I think that's there is still a hope. There is still a hope that you won't be able to read their mind and your own mind will be at peace. Moving on to the next phrase. What if you could read mind? Again. What if books came to life when you read them? I think it would be very interesting because it will help you live the moment when the writer was living or imagining when he was writing that stuff. So recently I have been reading, or I can say I'm rereading Atomic Habits book, which I read almost 3 to 4 years back, and now I am reading it again. Just want to inculcate few habits which I think will be helpful if I read this book. So there are certain points, there are certain stories with example which author has written over there. So once you have imagined, or some people find it difficult to imagine stuff that is written, so it would be easier if these things come to life when you are reading the book. So you will remember it with an example or with clear vision, or one of the most important senses of yours by seeing it. So it would be really helpful and impactful. So I believe it would be interesting and I would love to see a lot of things coming out of it. Maybe I would look at public speaking, art of public speaking book that I am reading by Dale Carnegie. So what happens is, it would there are certain words which are very difficult to understand in that book, and I have to open up my dictionary again and again to know the meaning of those words. So it would be interesting if I can simply observe the speaker or the scenario in which he was speaking, the whole group he was speaking in front of. So to understand by seeing it naturally or live, it would have been a better thing. Okay, next phrase. What if you could only communicate through drawings on public walls? That would be interesting, but it would be weird in some cases, because in office if you couldn't communicate through mails or by speaking with your managers or people out there, you would have to communicate through walls. So in that case, to maintain the secrecy or confidentiality of the work you are doing, there would be lockers and big walls in that room where no one is allowed. So once you are done with your meeting, you will have to erase everything behind black color, and again you will have to paint that wall. So yeah, it would be time consuming. But of course, if you have to achieve something, there would be certain scenarios and solutions to it. And simply what you will do is, you will maybe, if it is not confidentiality, if the data that you are discussing is not confidential, you can simply use the common wall and erase it. So there would be development on the walls as well. I believe there would be easier walls, easier in the sense that once you have drawn something, it becomes easy to clean the whole thing in one go, unlike nowadays which we have to use black color to hide it or again paint it white to keep the wall clean and reusable. So yeah, that is all from this topic. Next phrase is, what if you could only travel by teleportation but randomly? Yeah, teleportation is a good thing. You can simply go to one place to another, and there would be no need of staying at a remote location away from your home, like I am living because of my job. So once teleportation is there, it would be very interesting to reach out to a particular place. But if this particular place is not told to this technology of teleportation, what would happen? You would randomly be going to any other place and it would be useless. Like I want to go to my office, but somewhere inside my memory, I want to go back to my schools to observe that leadership of Blue House captain and relive those scenarios or moments where I was a good leader. So that would be interesting, I believe. But again, if I want to go to office and I'm full mood and getting late to the office and there is a meeting to attend, but suddenly when I use teleportation, it takes me back to the school. So it becomes difficult when it is done randomly. So you won't be able to reach to a place where your actual destination is. But yeah, it would be interesting if you want to go to a certain place, uncertain place, just to hang out or maybe, you know, explore new areas around you. Yeah. So I think next or the last phrase for today is, what if you had to make every decision by flipping a coin? I did this yesterday only. What if you could control the weather with your emotions? Okay, so I think I would be able to manage weather very well because I have a lot of control over my mood and emotions. I simply don't get angry, so there would be no thunderous days during these weather time when I am controlling it because of my emotion, because I don't get angry easily. And if there is another thing, it would be the weather of autumn most of the time during the year, because that's how I feel normally, and I have complete peaceful mind that I can control, and I can write down anything that I want in my life and it happens. So all these things takes place, and of course I would definitely visit to the places where there is no water and the land is not good for agriculture, but farmers used to do that before over there, but because of lack of water, as rain is not happening in that particular area, so I would simply go to that area and make my emotions in such a way that it rains over there. Maybe it could be done by crying a little bit, maybe. Yeah, so I can feel the emotions of those farmers and people living there. and I would cry by seeing their condition, and that would result in raining. So that is one of the things that can be done. Okay, I think that is all for today.